Welcome to Sports House Podcast. I'm Chase House, per usual. I have not transformed into another human. And I kind of have some breaking news. The Broncos just barely, as of 5 minutes ago, traded for Teddy Bridgewater from the Carolina Panthers. Their 6th-round pick. And the Carolina Panthers agreed to pay $7 million of his salary for this year. And I just want to talk about what that means for the Broncos, especially going into the draft tomorrow night, and what that means for Drew Lock, what that means as far as what we're going to do with the pick. And I think this is such a huge... I have so much anxiety because I think this is such a huge draft for the Denver Broncos. This draft, I truly believe, can either put them over the top or put them right back in rebuild mode in 2 years and put us right back in the same cycle. Because if George Payton tries to get fancy and draft a quarterback and tries to make a big splash and takes a bust, I mean, there's 5 quarterbacks that are predicted to go in the top 15 of this draft. Some of them are going to be busts. And if George Payton tries to get all fancy and thinks he knows the one quarterback out there that is the best of the whole class, or tries to be all fancy, takes a quarterback, and they don't develop in 1 year, Bronco fans get all pissed. Oh, say draft another quarterback now. And then it just puts us right back in the same scenario that we're in right now, except for we'd have a depleted defense, and we'd be in complete rebuild mode at that point. Because right now they're just a piece or two away from making a deep playoff run. And Drew Lock can be one of those pieces. You believe in your guys, man. Believe in your guys. Drew Lock showed a lot of good things. He showed raw talent. He showed somebody that, they need to develop, and you could tell they haven't had the time. He had a rookie season and a COVID year. He hasn't had the time. Stick with Drew Lock for this season. Don't get fancy and try to take one of these quarterbacks that looks so good to you guys when it could really just set you back. And if he just plays it safe, drafts a cornerback or a linebacker, Parsons or Patrick Surtain, who I like, or trades back and gains some assets in the process, that's what the Broncos should do. Because believe it or not, they are in win now mode. They are good quarterback play and competent coaching away from a playoff run. Their defense is elite, and if they can get a linebacker or a cornerback and just give us some more depth, and Drew Lock, I'm sick of people, Bronco fans especially, acting like Drew Lock is 100% not the answer. You don't know that. He's had one rookie season and a COVID year with no offseason and no preseason. That takes an effect on a quarterback. And imagine if the Buffalo Bills gave up on Josh Allen after his second year because he wasn't popping off like you Bronco fans expect someone to do in their first 2 years. Josh Allen's MVP type leap was in year 2 to year 3. That's where Drew Lock is now. Give him time. And Drew Lock, he has the intangibles. He just needs to be smarter with that. And it helps that in this offseason, he was working with Jimmy Neutron of football, Peyton Manning. I like the sound of that. Drew Lock working with Peyton Manning in his first, actual full offseason. That's very promising. And so for the people that already want to just toss Drew Lock to the side and be in the exact same situation that we're in every single season and just get a new quarterback, you guys just really, should we just draft a quarterback every single year until a rookie performs like 2013 Peyton Manning? Because that's not going to happen. Players take time to develop. Peyton Manning, speaking of which, threw an NFL record of interceptions his first season in the NFL. It takes time to develop. You can't just throw every quarterback you get, if they don't develop in 2 years, just throw them to the curb. And especially Drew Lock, I don't even really count his as like 2 years. It's like there's an asterisk by his 2 because a COVID year was like completely different than any other NFL season ever, especially in the offseason. No offseason, no preseason, no camps. Like, there's only so much you could do over video chats. You got to give Drew Lock time to develop. And this is his season to prove that. And they brought Teddy Bridgewater in, hopefully just to compete with Drew Lock. They said they brought Teddy Bridgewater in to compete. They didn't say who, because they didn't rule out taking a quarterback in this draft. But if they just bring Teddy Bridgewater in to be the backup, to compete with Drew Lock, that's fine. They should not hand the keys over to Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Lock. Outside of Deshaun Watson, the Broncos' best option at quarterback is Drew Lock. It's not a quarterback in this draft unless it's Trevor Lawrence, and they're not going to get him, or Zach Wilson. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks that I think the Broncos should take if they're there when they pick, and they won't be, by the way. Taking a rookie quarterback now basically says we're getting rid of Drew Lock, and we're banking on this rookie quarterback. If you take a top 10 quarterback, that's your quarterback that you're going with in the future. So that's what that would mean. And what that does is that puts so much pressure on succeeding right now. The Broncos are in win now scenario already. They don't have time to wait for another rookie quarterback. And by the way, if he doesn't pan out, 2 years later, we're in the exact same scenario. Team's depleted on defense. We have to draft a new quarterback. It puts us in complete rebuild mode. The Broncos should play it safe and take the best defensive player in the draft, and they probably will have that chance, even at 9. And then just, hope that Drew Lock makes that jump, makes that leap. Because, I mean, working with Peyton Manning in the offseason gives me so much more confidence, because really where Drew Lock struggled was mentally, and for a young quarterback, that's expected. And Peyton Manning is the smartest quarterback, and I 100% think the greatest quarterback to ever play. Working with Drew Lock, that's big news. That's huge news. Huge. I'm terrified of what's going to happen in the draft. I'm really terrified. I don't want George Payton to get all fancy and ruin the Broncos' chances for the next 3 years. Because new GMs, they're going to want to say, they want to have their quarterback. They want to have someone that they picked. And I'm just hoping that he doesn't get in his head, get all fancy, and thinks that he found a diamond in the rough out there. Because everybody's acting like all these quarterbacks that are getting selected in the first round are all going to pan out and just be franchise players. That's never the case. In fact, from 2011, this is an actual Sports Illustrated cover that came out before the draft. And it says, the 2011 QB class. You choose Jake Locker, Cam Newton, Blaine Gabbert, toughest call in football. Come on, there will be busts. And there's a lot of quarterbacks being taken, so there's high demand for the Broncos pick. There'll probably be one or two of these really good quarterbacks available when the Broncos pick. They will have the opportunity to trade back. And I think that's what they should do. Trade back, gain some assets, or select Parsons or Patrick Surtain or, someone on defense to give them more depth. Because they can have their pick of the best defensive player in this draft, most likely. They had the exact same scenario when they selected Bradley Chubb. They got a steal that way. Don't try to get all fancy. I'm going to be watching the draft tomorrow, and I'm actually going to record my reaction so I can upload it afterwards as my live reaction. So hopefully it goes well, and hopefully I don't have to overuse the censor button when I'm editing. All right, Sports Housers, I made some new ads, so we'll be right back after this break.
Lemonade for sale. Lemonade. Lemonade for sale, $1. Lemonade for sale.
Oh, customer. Hey there, little buddy. Selling lemonade?
Yeah, fresh lemonade.
Ooh, how much?
$1.
Wow, $1, huh? Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Are you sure it's $1? That's pretty expensive. How about 50 cents?
No sales.
No sale. No. All right. Listen here, you stupid little moron. 50 cents is a good price for lemonade. Nobody's ever gonna spend $1 on your lemonade that looks like dish soap. Actually, give me that. Ew, it tastes like piss water. I want a refund. Give me 50 cents.
You never paid for it.
All right, listen here, you greedy little scum. I want my 50 cents, and I want it now.
Well, I don't have the 50 cents.
Hey, excuse me? Is there a problem here?
Yeah, your booger-faced son is selling liquid poop disguised as lemonade, and he owes me 50 cents. He's being a real freaking prick about it. You know what? I'm out of here.
Hey, you can't do that! Your lemonade stand sucks!
This has been an ad for Dart Styrofoam Cups, the best styrofoam cups in town. Welcome back. That's actually the end of my show. So I made you wait for nothing. Hopefully you guys like those ads. I spent a lot of time making them. And check back soon for my reaction on the Broncos draft. I'll be uploading that shortly after. So until next time, we out.